radio at the lamp that's on top of the test chamber, it freaks out and it doesn't let, or it can like bump into you and kill you basically. So that's what happened.
The best part about that though was like you saw how like much he was moving around, but after he died he was like stone cold still.
Yeah, pretty much.
Don't want to die a second time.
Yeah, hopefully. Oh, he gets the clipboard stuck. Currently Lyfeless's audio is not usable, so currently we still have to stick with Blazikins for now, but
I mean, that's alright.
Anyway, starting off the run, let's talk about the ABHing very quickly. So, for those of you who don't know, the movement in this game is called accelerated backhopping. And the reason why it works is because back when Valve made this version of the Source engine, they wanted to patch out bunny hopping, which was in the older engine that was used for Source. So what they did was they pushed, they basically have a pushback trigger on anyone who goes above a certain speed.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things where they keep like adding to your negatives, like sort of speed, so it just keeps like exponentially growing.
Yeah.
So, like, the engine cap. So now Blaziken's trying to go for like a save glitch there. Like what he was trying to do was get the radio to like push him while he was like saving and loading. So sometimes you can get the button to just stick down, and you can skip that whole like putting the cube on the button. But he didn't quite get it there, so. It would save like a solid 15 seconds though, so I mean, might as well go for it if you can. So
yeah, it's not a bad strat at all.
Yeah, it's the exciting thing about inbound, so like anything can happen because like there's a lot of like save glitches and like nice little optimizing routes that you can do. So you know, Blaziken might pull ahead with something that Lyfeless doesn't do, or like vice versa. So
yeah, we'll see. Currently, Lyfeless still in the lead. Entering into Chamber 5 already.
Might be noticing he's got like the Chamber 3. Might notice he's got like the old portals going on. It's like from the trailer.
Yeah, I'm not used to seeing that entrance to 3, so I thought it was 5. Anyway, so what Blaziken is about to do here is he's going to be doing a trick called a save glitch. So what a save glitch is that when you get on top of or behind a portal, you get put into a state called being edge glitched, where essentially your body and camera get disjointed. So your camera is on one end of the portal and your player model is on the other end of the portal, which causes some really weird things to happen. So the official definition of inbounds is that your camera does not go out of bounds for the entire run, but your player model can go out of bounds as much as it needs to. This is just a decision made a very long time ago when save glitch was first discovered.
So we're doing another one there, like going through the door as well. So when you're in save glitch space, like a lot of like collision actually like gets rid of. So that's why you'll see all like these wacky like movements and stuff like that. And a lot of the time they do it to like skip the elevators, because like each elevator ride's like 14 seconds long. So if you can like skip a level, like you might as well go for it.
Exactly. You're going to see him do it right here. He's going to shoot that blue portal, which changes where his player model is, allowing him to go through this door, skipping the entire puzzle for Chamber 5.
Oh no, Lyfeless missed the optimal energy orb cycle there. Did a bit of a waiting. I mean, you don't want to just die for no reason though.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely better to stay alive and stay ahead. Currently, so Blaziken's going to be going into Chamber 6 here, excuse me, and Lyfeless going into Chamber 7. So
still one chamber ahead.
Yeah.
Although he's starting to like sort of mess up a little bit. Oh no.
Oh no. He messed up the fling. So what Lyfeless is doing here is he's just flinging. He's trying to do a fling by jumping through this portal and changing where his blue portal is to allow himself to fling to the end of the chamber, skipping the orb puzzle that you normally do.
Like, I'll tell you what was going wrong there, right? So you don't actually want to shoot it up all the way, like, high on the wall. He was shooting it too high, so his head was hitting the ceiling, so he was coming down too quickly. That's what was happening there. So you want to shoot it just a little bit below, so you can actually arc upwards.
Yeah, because with your whole fling, you kind of have a parabolic arc. And if you hit the ceiling too early, that arc is messed up, and you start going down much earlier than you normally would.
Did you see that Blaziken tried to go for ABH over Goo there?
He didn't quite
get it though.
So ABH over Goo is a really hard ABH sequence on Chamber 8 that allows you to skip over the Goo entirely without even shooting a single portal.
I mean, we might see it in the other two races to come if it goes to a best of 3, so...
Very well could happen. And you'll definitely be seeing it later in the tournament because there are some players that are
Oh
very
yeah.
consistent at the trick that will get it almost assuredly at least once.
Now, this is the thing about inbounds, right? Like, Lyfeless was like a whole chamber ahead, but you can see Blaziken's just like catching up now, and a lot of this just comes down to like execution and making sure like you get all these tricks like straight on. So,
Yeah, for sure.
all right, so we got door launch coming up here on the right. Let's see if you can get it.
He doesn't even go for it.
Not quite.
Well, I think he went for it, but I
left
think he
now.
missed. The
Yeah.
no,
Oh, that
door
was very
launches,
close
right.
as well.
Yeah,
So
I think he had almost good speed, but he also missed the door a little bit, so he didn't get any launch.
Yeah, Lyfeless was like right in the middle of it though, but Blaziken was like really close to the edge.
Yeah.
So there's just like a little lip and you can curve up. It's like using it as like a skateboard ramp, I guess. So
Yeah, it allows you to skip doing the portal sequence to skip that chamber. Yeah, Lifeless messing up the AFH here. So similarly to ABHing, there's a trick called AFHing, where if you hold S when you already have some speed while doing when you already have some speed and everything, you can ABH forward by fooling the game into thinking that you're going backwards.
yeah. So Blaziken's doing save glitch here. So when they're moving around the top here, they're actually shifting where like their actual player body is, so they can like shoot like in different sections of the inbounds map. So right there, you skip like an entire level, like all of chamber 12, but like the portal's actually landing on like the various like surfaces in that level. So
if you saw on the right there, Lifeless actually used a completely different strategy to do that save glitch. That's actually a brand new form of that 11 save glitch that was discovered a few days ago by a player named Z's, who has discovered quite a lot for this game. Anyway.
Yeah, Blaziken did save glitch on the left there. Oh, Lyfeless is going for it as well. Now, the thing about the save glitch, like from experience, is if you don't get the setup straight away, it's actually quicker to just do the level normally with like the cube throws and stuff like that. So it's kind of like one of those strats where you have the potential to gain a second, but you can also just lose a bunch of time.
Yeah, a weird thing about that strat also is that normally when we do runs of this game, we use the in-game time. Since this game is ran on PC, you can take out loads through a timer or plugin that you just essentially every time the game is loading, it will stop the timer for temporarily until the game is like playable again. The 13 save glitch is actually slower RTA than it is game time. I think they were just doing it out of habit.
Oh, right, okay.
Like, very slightly slower.
Oh, dude, we're falling behind. Did you see, like, on 14, like, the last chamber, they were both, like, getting spaghetti with trying to do that fling?
Yeah, 14 is definitely... 14 is the shortest chamber in this run, other than, I believe, chamber 19, which we'll get to later on why that is so short. But 14 is also the one that you're most prone to messing up because it's just a simple fling that you often don't practice because it's just a simple fling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, Blaziken's pulled ahead at this point, going into 16, which actually has one of the more interesting save glitches in the run because the save glitch setup that we're using on this map is actually slower than just doing the map normally.
Like portal bumps,
Yeah, so if you see what he's doing right now, he's actually setting up another save glitch to get a portal under the elevator that would take him into chamber 17 in order to put a turret down there. The reason he wants to do this, the reason he wants to do this is because the turrets on chamber 16 are treated as cubes by this game because they want you to be able to use those turrets to push down buttons. This lets you bring one of the turrets from the previous map into this map in order to use it to skip the entire chamber.
Hey, nice.
So now, what he did there was he jumped through.
That's actually really difficult because like that jump he did there, like all the floor there actually loses collision as well, so you can actually just fall out of the game really easily with that.
Yeah, so he carries a save glitch over from chamber 16 into chamber 17, which allows him to he alt tabs, so there's no audio, which allows him to completely skip all of chamber 17. Lyfeless not going for that particular strat.
It saves a lot of time as well,
he's
though.
Going for the traditional
have to go all the way around now.
It actually only saves 10 seconds, surprisingly, despite how much it skips in this map. Because it takes so long to set up in chamber 16, you end up losing like 20-ish seconds on chamber 16. But because 17 is so much faster, you just...
There was like one thing we like completely didn't even talk about was the fact that like he had the turret on the button and then took it off, but it still had the door open. So
Yeah.
if like you save and load the game like while taking the object off, like you can keep things stuck down. So
Yeah. That's something called BSG. It's the same kind of strategy that was used in Chamber 1 by Blaziken.
well, he tried to go for it, but he didn't
Did he
get
not
it.
get it? Oh.
Yeah, he didn't get it. He tried to do it, but it's a lot harder to do it with like the radio.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
like there's two forms to do it. You can have the object pushing down the button, or you can have your player pushing it down. And doing it with the player is a bit harder than the actual object. So, right here on the left, we've got Loch Ness Monster, the lag strats. So, kind of the geometry in this game is a bit wacky if you go through like slanted surfaces. In particular, like in this case, it's the ceiling portal. So you'll see he's doing another one here, lining it up. So when he goes through that ceiling portal, it'll like teleport you to another area in the map. And it's all based on like the angle that you shoot your floor portal and all that. So it's somewhat precise, but I mean, these guys have been practicing for a long time. So
yeah, the particular reason why that works, that was Chamber 19, by the way, which is the really short chamber. Short chamber in the game.
I mean, it's like the longest one as well.
It's the longest casually. It's a very long map casually, but the current gold for it is a low 13, or the community gold, I should say, is a low 13 by, I believe, Jonah still.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I mean, a lot of the IL grindings are
yeah.
pretty good.
It's all pretty fun. Blaziken is on EO1 now, which is the second to last map in the run, and he's going to be going for the save glitch on this map. This is a pretty complicated save glitch that's pretty easy to mess up. So what he's doing here is he is going to be setting up a save glitch, which is pushing portals further and further throughout the map until it slowly brings the portal to the very end of the map, and he can just immediately go into the last map of the run. And he does it pretty much perfectly there. It takes him right into the next map.
Yeah, jeez.
Could have taken him a bit further up, so he lost a little bit of time off that, but it was still extremely good. He's looking poised to take this race.
So that's another like lag there as well. And he's going to be setting up another one here for the GLaDOS chamber. So
the biggest difference between the two lag strats, this one's actually called AAG, which stands for acute angle glitch. The only major difference with how they work is the way that you is like the effect that comes out of it. Large angle glitches can only teleport you horizontally throughout the map, but acute angle glitches can also teleport you vertically, which is why he's able to get to the very end of the big turret room there. And if you didn't see there, he brought a turret with him into the GLaDOS chamber. It's a pretty important trick. It lets you skip the really long GLaDOS fight by taking all the cores off of GLaDOS right away. And Blaziken actually getting a really good time there.
Yeah, no, that was really good.
Only I believe it was 8 seconds off his PB. I believe his PB is a 12:17. He told me.
And let's mention as well that he lost like 25 seconds at the start of that. That would have been a
well, he reset his timer.
Right, okay, I see.
So he just lost 25 seconds to Lyfeless, but that's still a very solid run. He could very well PB next run if he continues playing well. But anyway, Lyfeless on the right here. Going for the same save glitch that Blaziken went for in EO1. Let's see if he can also pull it off. He's using a slightly different setup than Blaziken. Interesting thing about this save glitch is pretty much everyone has a different setup for how they do it, because for some reason when you use someone else's setup, it just doesn't make sense. And he seemed to mess it up a little bit there.
And that's the thing there, like he went a bit too far forward, and that's like with the collision when you're in save glitch, like it's quite particular on like what like bits of the floor you can stand on, and it seems seemingly random. So like finding your own routes is kind of sometimes a bit of like trial and error. So. Oh, come on, Lyfeless, you can do it. It looks like he's just trying to get that final portal shot on the wall. So.
Yeah, the save glitch is one of the most difficult in the run.
Well, I would say this one here is the hardest in the game, probably.
Other than the new proposed EOO save glitch, which top-level runners are literally not doing because it's so hard.
Oh, see, I haven't seen that. And see, there's another thing that can go wrong was he wasn't quite in the right spot either. So being slightly off can like drastically change like where all your portals land. So his portal started landing out of bounds there, which isn't quite what we want.
Yeah. So. The biggest problem is that when you
hunting. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I mean, he didn't get all the way that he wanted to, but now he's just going to do some backup strats here.
Yeah, so he's doing a really old inbound strat.
Yeah. Save load to get through the glass, because this game believe it or not, wants to try to keep you in the game. So if you save and load, it'll like unstuck you from like the glass and all that.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
here we go. Oh, come on, man. You can do it. So getting this trick a lot easier, you want to put that blue portal as low as you can. He's kind of got it in the middle at the moment. He wants to put it a bit lower than what he's doing just to get like a better arc. It's like one of those simple things where like when someone tells you how to do this really easy, like it's quite easy to get. So
yeah.
There we go.
Unfortunately, EO1 save wedge wasn't treating him well.
Well, see, that's it. It's nerves, isn't it?
It's yeah. The thing about save glitches is that because that one has so many portals that go into it, it's a very long save glitch comparatively to most. If you mess up early on in the save glitch, you might not realize that you messed up, but eventually
you don't know till the end.
Eventually, you'll be like, "Oh, this is really wrong." He's also going for a different strat here on EO2, Escape 2. Where
so
he's
this
actually
is kind of like the old one that we've seen.
Yeah, instead of doing the AAGs, he's going to set up the orange portal right here to get a good angle on the turret, and he's going to fling himself on top of this bridge here and manually walk over to GLaDOS. This is the strat we did before AAGs. AAGs are a very difficult trick to do. Blaziken, surprisingly, doing them very consistently in his run, but they can be awfully tricky to get consistent. So a lot of players opt to do this easier strat. And
Lyfeless finishing up here right now.
Yeah, Lyfeless finishing up his race very soon here.
Come on, Lyfeless, you got this. That was an alright race one for like the most part, like right at the beginning, so. Alright, so he's just shooting underneath the map right there for the incinerator as well.
To explain that, he's getting edge glitched and it's setting up the blue portal in a way that he can shoot the cores to instantly get incinerated by the incinerator. This saves a very small amount of time because you don't have to wait for the cores to fall.
It just saves like air distance, you know?
Yeah, so, like, you don't have to wait for the cores to fall inside of the...
Yeah, it's just like one of those
you also
like,
don't have to open
things.
You also don't have to open up the thing. But anyway, good first race. Blaziken with a very, very solid time, 12:23. Going to be hard. It would be very hard for most players to beat that one, but they should be moving on to the next race very shortly.
And since we've done that first race commentary, we can like drop the whole Wikipedia reading out, like exactly what save glitches and ABH is, and like actually talk about the tricks they're doing.
I did, I believe, update the score for Blaziken, so it should be switching over to 1-0 pretty soon. And they're going to be getting started with their next run here, the next race in this best of 3. Maybe Lyfeless can make some sick plays and make it a 3-game race. Who knows?
Well, see, that was the thing. He was like had a really, really strong start there, and then a few things went wrong, and then the rest of the run kind of started to go downhill from there. It's like he got in his own head or something.
Yeah, it's definitely this is definitely a very momentum-based game. If you start messing up, then you just like start flubbing a lot more. But when you're feeling it, when you're hitting tricks that are difficult and everything, you just it's just kind of working out for you. But anyway.
Okay, here we go. So
starting off a little bit
ahead a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit off again, but that's all right. It's hard to coordinate these things.
Now, let's actually talk by play-by-plays about what they did last game compared to this one. So Blaziken's improvement for this time, I think, is just trying not to die. He's living life on the edge a little bit.
He's definitely being a bit more safe by standing far enough away from the lamp that it won't hit him.
I mean, you never know with this game, though. Like, the objects are a bit RNG with the way they, like, actually interact with each other. Like, if you look up the Taz on YouTube and stuff, like that one inconsistent thing in the Taz is actually how objects behave. Like, you never know.
Yeah. For those of you who haven't seen the Portal Taz tool-assisted speedrun, the one for Out of Bounds actually completely skips this entire waiting sequence. It's a trick that is way too impossible to do. I don't think a single human being has ever actually done it. I think it's only been done by tool-assisted runs.
Well, it's been done segmented. Like we were working on it. Yeah. So I was the one that was working on it segmented. We actually did get a clip that went over it in segmented, and then Juxpit did the Taz of it. So
you guys are crazy.
But it's very, very hard to do. So just reminded that Blaziken just started a little bit earlier. So
yeah. So in terms of how well they've played, it is a little bit even, a little bit more even, I should say, than it looks. Blaziken's still ahead, though, for the purposes of the race.
Alright, so he's grabbing the radio here, so let's pay attention here. He's gonna try to get the save glitch. It's very difficult to get though. So
the difficult part about this save glitch is that you need to save and load the game.
Oh, he actually got it.
You did. The difficult thing about it is that you need to save and load the game very, very close to when the game kind of loads you back in. There's a weird thing with how save loads work in the Source engine where ticks can start being recorded without your game like being done loading. So basically,
the thing is, the game starts, but you still see the loading screen. So you actually have like control of the game while it's still loading.
Yeah, you
so
can
that's
see
kind of where
this
the
for
hard
yourself.
thing is.
You can see this for yourself really easily by just saving and loading the game while holding a directional key. And the game will move you during the load, so you can actually cover distance while being in a loading screen in this game. There's actually a trick called save buffering, which can allow you to beat the first chamber in like technically 40 seconds, which is kind of dumb.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
No one does
so
that
we're gonna
because
see
that takes like an hour.
here. Yeah, well, I mean, technically you could get like a really low time just always saving and loading. Alright, so this is pretty smooth by Blaziken, you know? Oh no.
He got portal boosted a little bit there. So a random thing that could happen in this run is that when you leave a portal, the portal can randomly boost you forward a little bit, which is something that we can't control and almost always is a bad thing. It's almost never something that we're like, oh yeah, I saved a little bit of time off that.
Yeah, because the thing is, you always want to be like near your portal and stuff so you can do all your peaks and stuff like that. So getting pushed out kind of like stops your momentum of what you're doing. So
for sure.
I mean, you can actually make portal boosts work for yourself. If you just like pause the game and unpause it when you're in between a portal, you can actually make the portal boost happen. Like
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's actually a nice little thing. So if you want to go for any portal boost strats, guys, just do the pause, unpause thing. Alright.
Anyway, Lyfeless and Blaziken currently on the same map, but Blaziken with about a one-chamber advantage right now. Lyfeless could very easily bring this back just by Blaziken making a few flubs and Lyfeless playing solid.
Yeah.
And just for reference, this part that Blaziken is in right now, you have to wait for GLaDOS to be done talking before you can actually continue. So
yeah,
he's
that's
not
the thing. It's like one of the there's like 2 levels in this game that's like that.
Yeah, the other one being 18, chamber 18, I should say.
Yeah.
So Lyfeless about to be finishing off chamber 5. Since he's going to be waiting for a bit, we can go back to Blaziken. Oh.
Okay, so he missed the jump. I thought... See, what happened there was he missed the portal, right? But it was one of those things where he wasn't sure whether the energy orb was going to hit him, so I think he was a bit hesitant with that jump there. So...
Yeah, and then he ended up hitting the... He ended up hitting the back end of the portal, which completely canceled his momentum.
Yeah. So pay attention to where Blaziken shoots that portal there. It happens so quickly, but it's like not all the way up on the roof, so...
Yeah. And Lyfeless, again, only one chamber behind, about to go into chamber 7. Let's see if Blaziken can pull out the ABH over Goo. It'd be pretty hype if he could, but it's a very hard trick.
I want to see that, so...
It'd be really nice to see.
Alright, so he'll start curving to the left if he goes for it. Oh, he just didn't commit to it again.
Yeah. He had good ABHs to do it, but
yeah, I think I would have won for that. If
that's the easy part, is getting the ABH speed. Yeah. The hard part is that you have to uncrouch and then do a standing ABH to get over the railing.
That's the old way to do it. You can actually do it with toggle duck now, and it actually makes
that's the way that I don't know how to do.
Yeah. Alright, so you kind of flubbed the ABH there on the left, but oh no.
By the way, for some reason,
tried to like patch the game like there to like make it so you can't do that.
But they kind of didn't do a good job.
Yeah. I mean, one good way to patch that would be to make the floor all metal there, but I mean, they tried to put like a brush there that deletes the portal, but they didn't quite put it everywhere, so
yeah,
you still kind of get past it.
Anyway, another attempted door launch here for Blaziken.
Alright. I hope he gets it.
Not good enough speed.
Oh, no.
Lyfeless still's got his chance, though. Maybe that's how he can save a little bit of time.
Yeah, getting door launch. Alright. Blaziken's going strong. I think he's just gotten better from the last run.
He seems to be about, like, 8-9 seconds behind his PB, so it would be pretty difficult to PB, but he definitely can still pull it back. I mean, he's less than halfway throughout his PB run, so...
Not
He's having
quite
a
for
strong start
Lyfeless.
for 11. Yep, and no door launch. So unless this goes to a game 3, we haven't seen door launch or ABH overdue. Unfortunate. But I'm sure we'll be seeing him more later on. So anyway, take a look at how Blaziken's doing this save glitch on Chamber 11, because this is not the way that doing it. Lyfeless actually does a faster method that's faster by one or two portal shots.
I'm going to actually have to closely look at that because I haven't seen it. Now, Lyfeless didn't actually die there several times like last time, so that's already an improvement.
Yeah.
All right.
So he's doing a
I do want to see what
glitch.
Lyfeless does. Right.
Yeah, you see how he's just not moving back he's not moving into the center room. He's just doing the entire save glitch in this watchtower, and it allows him to get to the end. It saves
that's actually
one or two
really
portal shots. I haven't done it myself, so I don't know for sure. We're both old boys of this game. He's way older than I am, but
you're like so excited to like tell everything as well, and I'm like, yep, that's how that works. All right. I want to see how he does 13. No, he's still doing the save glitch method. All right.
He does an interesting thing where he walks backward like that. I haven't seen that before. It seems like a more consistent way to get stuck, though.
Well, I mean, you can do a crouch into the wall as well. That works as well. Like, we're starting to talk a little bit nuance on like how to actually get that save glitch to work, because you know you got it like when you lose all movement in the wall. But yeah, walking backwards like that does work as well. So.
Yeah, oftentimes you also lose the ability to shoot portals somewhere where you should. That's a definite way to know that your save glitch is that if you're looking at a portal or a surface that you should normally be able to shoot a portal at, and it's telling you you can't, then you know you're save glitched. And the same thing with the opposite. Exactly. If it's somewhere where you definitely shouldn't be able to, but it's saying, hey, you can do this. And you can tell that by looking at your crosshair. The crosshair lights up when you can shoot a portal there, which is something they took out in Portal 2 for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe they were afraid of a rehash.
Well, Portal 2 is definitely a lot more solid of a game than this one, although it has its own.
It's very, very different.
a lot more of a just going through the maps fast kind of speed game. This game's a lot more of.
Yeah, this tricky. We like spread through. Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, it's all good.
We like sped through this one before. Yeah, that's it. We did speed through this, but this is exactly like right at the end, right? But the difference between Portal 2 and Portal 1 is in Portal 1 they actually made it so objects get carried over during the load. So right here, the turret is actually still underneath the elevator here, and he's also shot a portal. So going into this chamber, he's got a portal and the turret under the elevator. So when he shoots his orange one here, the blue one's still kept under the elevator. And see, he actually missed the shot there, because that's quite a hard shot to get. But I mean, he got it the second time, so. And that's right at the beginning of the chamber there, so pretty cool skip.
Trying to go for the button or with the turret BSG again, and he gets it. Only 3 tries. That's not bad.
Only 3
That's
tries.
a really difficult BSG to get. I don't know if we explained how that one works, but you basically have to take off whatever's pushing on the button. You have to take off and then immediately save load like 1 tick after you take it off the button. It's really difficult with the turret because the turret has really weird geometry. Yeah, like it's really easy with the cube because the cube is just a cube. But the turret is like a weird round surface with the legs and everything. It just doesn't work very well, but it's faster, so.
So the fantastic thing about 18 here is like everyone knows of the tower that you got to climb, but with the save glitch, basically you're making yourself go up higher and higher so you can actually shoot to this final platform here, which is actually like really, really great. Because if you think about like the normal way to do this, like you're wasting so much airtime like flinging around.
Please attend an enrichment center electrical safety seminar.
And now we got about a 1-chamber advantage for Blaziken. So
it's all just because of that chamber 17 skip. Yeah, it's all
chamber 17 definitely saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
Anyway, Blaziken once again going to be going for lag here. So as you see, he's going to uncrouch and immediately shoot a portal through that, which teleports him, allowing him to get over here to set up another save glitch, which will allow him to get to where he wants to do his second lag.
There's like so much going on at once.
Yeah, like this is the shortest chamber of the game, but it definitely has the most going on in it. It's really
Okay, so what happened there was there's an invisible wall there, and it doesn't get rid of the invisible wall unless you have both portals in that section. So normally with the lag, you want to get past that invisible wall so you don't have to shoot the two portals, but he was just a bit too, like, close to it. So that's why he kind of got stuck there for a bit of a second. It wastes a second overall having to do that, so...
Yeah, it's not too big of a deal. It's oftentimes you'll get that and you'll just be happy that you actually got the
Yeah, exactly. But when
glitch.
you're trying to go for like PBs and stuff like that whole second's just lost for like no reason. So because each shot you do in this game is like half a second as well, so it's kind of like one of those things where you can quickly get in your own head. Like anytime you miss a shot, you go, "Wow, that's half a second I just threw away in the bin."
Mm-hmm. And something you might have heard me say before, actually, is that sometimes with save glitches, to compare how good a particular strat is, we actually use the amount of portals that you will shoot for the save glitch.
Yeah.
So if someone
it's a pretty
finds,
reliable method.
Yeah.
Go on.
So if someone finds a better way of doing the EO1 save glitch, it could also be cutting out more of the movement and just having you do it all in one particular place. But a way to definitely make it faster is to, instead of shooting, let's say 8 portals, you only shoot 6. That would definitely be
so that
faster.
saves a second. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lyfeless also just got stuck up as well on the 19 with the invisible wall.
Double lag is one of the more notorious tricks in this game for being
I didn't know
difficult.
you could shoot that angle there, what Lyfeless just did. Wow. I had like completely no idea about that. I've never actually seen
you learned something
angle.
new. And
Yeah, what the hell?
And you're like the knowledge basin of this game.
Yeah, I know. Like I've seen like a lot of things here. I mean, that's the great thing. That's why I always like watching Portal again.
As you can see, Blaziken bringing the turret in and then having it immediately shoot GLaDOS to get all the cores off of her. So not only do you not have to wait for GLaDOS' speech to be over, but you don't have to do the stupid rocket thing to get the cores off of her in the first place. You can pretty much just finish the fight before it even starts. And Blaziken with another really solid time, getting a 12:30. It seems.
Good. So that was a bit slower than last time. Well,
yeah, a little bit worse
than
last time, but
it was actually quicker though, because remember he did die
at the beginning.
time.
Yeah,
So
but
the last time was actually like 12:50. Yeah, no, it's really good. Lyfeless, like I don't think we've been giving Lyfeless enough credit this time, but he actually has been getting most of the tricks like straight up this time.
Yeah, Lyfeless has been playing well. Blaziken just having 2 extremely solid runs.
He got caught up here last time, so I'm kind of interested in seeing.
He's standing in the middle of his save. Yeah, I think he's just gonna. Or maybe it seems like he's gonna try to find the correct angle to try to finish it out. Yeah, there.
I think he got it there.
Oh no!
Oh no! Quite missed it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he's I think messing up that second shot a bit.
I think what's happening is he's moving a bit too much from his like position. You'll see him move a bit to the left when he shoots that first portal. But it's kind of like you're pixel hunting here. It's a little bit hard. So, alright, he's just gonna settle for that. Hey, Blaziken.
What's up, Blaziken?
How'd you feel? That second one was a lot better, like overall, than the first one. Like you died straight up.
Dying off of the lamp was possibly the best way to start this off.
I didn't have any saves, and I couldn't. If you load the first map, it restarts the timer. So I couldn't figure out. Yeah, I just had to restart.
And like the best part about that was like the microaggression. Like when you restarted, you didn't move at all.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I wasn't sure.
Finishing out his run quickly.
If I got BSG in that first run, if I got BSG, I would have PB'd by like 10 seconds.
Oh god, right.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's crazy, actually.
Well, I say that, but I probably would have seen I was on pace and started choking.
But yeah, you never know. Anyway, Lyfeless finishing out his run really fast. He's once again going for his strat on EO2, setting up his fling onto the bridge right above him in order to get to the end here. And
so did you see any
strat.
Did you see any of Lyfeless's run? Like, did you have him on like a second monitor or anything?
No, I haven't seen any of it.
Oh, okay. He was ahead of you for a bit on the first run, but he started like choking up a little bit, poor guy.
He definitely has potential.
Yeah, no, you can definitely see it. So he's been doing a lot better on this run overall, though.
It's definitely hard to beat. That was really interesting. Did you see he got deflected by the red core and then fell back into his portal? That was the first time I've ever seen that. It's been a lot of weird first times in this race. I don't think anyone's died in the chamber in a race of this game before, in the relaxation chamber. But what do I know?
So Blaziken, the one thing that Lyfeless has up on you is actually the 11-12 save glitch. Like, he does it like so quickly. Like, I haven't seen that before.
Is he doing the new one?
Yeah, he's doing the new one.
And like he's so confident about it as well. Like,
yeah, he was doing it really well.
Does it on cat.
Credit to him. I don't think there's like a proper complete tutorial out there at the moment, so.
Yeah, I don't think Zeus has updated his tutorial with it yet. Knowing him, he's probably has though.
To be fair, it's quite similar to like the actual segmented inbound strat, where like you don't need to move to like do the shots, but it's got a bit of a tweak on it. So I think it's just a bit too hard to do it. Like, people didn't do it for the longest time because it was kind of hard to do blind shots. Like, you need to be like really confident with where you're aiming. So
yeah,
that's cool. You just finished up there. So
yeah, so good, really good runs, Blaziken. With that consistency, you could very well go far.
I've been doing Portal all day, to be honest. So
well, it's definitely paid off. 2 12:30s or a 12:30 and a 12:20. Definitely two times that you can't sleep on.
Yeah, you'll be up with the big boys. It's just a bit too hard to do it. Like, people didn't do it for the longest time because it was kind of. Oh, I can hear my own voice back.
Yeah, hey, Lyfeless put the stream on, so. Yeah, I'm going to.
That's cool. You just finished up there, so.
I believe I have another match to commentate at 6. With that consistency, you could very well go. I'm not sure how we're going to wrap this up here, but
I've been doing Portal all day.
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
It's definitely paid off. 2 12:30s. Or a 12:30 and a 12:20. Definitely. Okay, and yeah, we can definitely give him a quick interview.
Be up with the big boys. It's a bit too hard to do.
There's Lyfeless.
Hey, Lyfeless.
Hi.
How's it going?
Tell me what happened there.
I choked at E01 both times.
Yeah, I saw that. That poor guy.
The E01 is such a hard chamber.
Yeah, I go off and on every day from being consistent at it, from not being consistent. It really just depends on like how I'm feeling.
It's those final shots that get you though. Like, I can see that, like, trying to stand in the right spot and then find where you're shooting. Like, I could see that you're like pixel hunting for it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I the wrong position. I had to learn the legacy strat on the fly.
Oh yeah, I saw that because I was like, oh, he only got halfway. Oh, because it looked like he knew what you were doing. So that last fling you were doing as well, like I was saying during the game, that you had your portal in the exact wrong spot. You needed to put it lower to do the fling. Yeah, because if you put it all the way at the bottom, you'll get it every single time, like without any doubt. But like that explains it if you've never done it before.
Yeah, I have never done the legacy strat. Not
yeah, that's definitely probably something that gives Blaziken a bit of an edge. Is that he ran the game a while ago. So he definitely knows a bit more about those like older strats
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's all about the setups.
Yeah.
If you get a consistent setup, you can get the shots fairly consistently, but you just need to practice and find something that works for you.
Yeah, I'll probably run through it a couple more times, see if
I
can
for sure
figure out how I did that.
I mean, hey, you definitely are gonna improve more if you just keep playing, man.
Yeah, it was quite solid.
Yeah, you played well. Both.
Did you see any
runners?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Did you see any of Blaziken's run during that? Like, did you have his run?
It was pretty solid though from the 12-minute.
Well, that's it. But race 1, he died in the relaxation vault, so you're ahead 30 seconds.
Yeah, he got killed. He got killed by the lamp.
It's never happened to me.
Yeah.
Back before vault save was a thing, I did that every single run. It never happened to me.
Oh, there you go.
Wait, I didn't know you started running the game before vault save.
Oh, 2014 was when I first started.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, and then I took a 2-year break.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing. I started in 2013 and then took a 2-year break until 2015.
I've been playing the game since 2010. I'm an old man.
I mean, I'm significantly older technically than pretty much everyone who plays the game nowadays, coming from 2013. That's when like Azure and Soli had record.
I feel
Oh,
super
boy.
young now in the terms of Portal community.
You've only been here for a few months, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been like 3 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
See, having a mid 14 after only 3 months is definitely solid.
I played the game too much.
The amount of new runners coming in. The amount of new runners coming in and getting like low times is kind of ridiculous.
Oh yeah, for sure. People.
So many people.
It's definitely getting easier to get into the game because there's more, like Z's tutorial especially is just such an in-depth like guide on how to do pretty much every strat that you could possibly even consider doing.
Yeah, like no one's done that before. Like it's actually a pretty good resource. So.
Yeah, because the way he splits it up with the individual videos instead of it being one long video, he can add to it in any way he wants whenever he wants, which makes it a lot easier to organize, which is just really smart overall.
Yeah,
I mean, you can
it really
see it.
is.
Like,
we updated.
Oh.
We updated to a Google Doc, which is basically like a table with all the chambers and strats linked. So Zeus doesn't have to keep updating the tutorial.
Oh, nice.
I think he was starting to get a bit fed up.
Yeah, none of these resources or any other.
You should
community.
send
I
that
don't know,
my way. I haven't seen that.
He does it to himself though. He's always back in the community whenever anyone else is. Like he's like the last person who would ever do another run of Portal, but he's also the most active person in the entire community. Like,
yeah, that was one thing. Like I was doing like ILs on my stream, and he saw I was doing like a new strat. He's like, "Come on, just do it already." And I wasn't getting there, so he launched up the game, just stole the strat I was doing, got the like IL world record. He's like, "Come on, Ivanex, what are you doing?" He's like, "I didn't want to play the game. Why are you doing this to me?" Yeah, the size of gem though.
Aziz is a great source for the community. He even does like Half-Life tutorials, even though he like barely ran that game. It's great. He's just a tutorial man.
Tutorial man. I mean, that's good to live by though.
like I was like, I remember when a new strat was found in Half-Life that saved a minute, and he was the one teaching it to me, even though his time was like 5 minutes worse than mine.
I mean, you gotta go for something, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's got a good. I think he has like a 36 in Half-Life now. Considering how little he played the game, that's pretty solid.
Yeah. Right.
But anyway, we're not talking about Half-Life. The Half-Life tournament will come later. Probably not actually, because no one plays that game. But if anyone wants to get into Half-Life and organize a tournament for it, hit me up.
I'll get world record next month. Don't worry.
That's it. Have you seen Maxim's run?
Waiting on you.
Maxim's run is insane. I don't know if Proto is the only person who could ever conceivably beat that. Unless someone like grinded for like years.
You just need to import save glitch into Half-Life 2, obviously. That's all we need, boys.
Save, if anything to make that run better, anything to take out prop clipping.
Yeah. We're gonna go out of bounds anyway.
Why doesn't prop clipping work in Portal?
In Portal?
Does it? Because I've tried the prop clip before, but it just doesn't work.
They did it in the segmented run in Chamber 17.
Yeah, you probably have to do it in some wacky way, because I was just trying to do the same thing. I was just trying to walk into a cube, and it didn't work.
Yeah, it's a little bit
I don't even
different.
think it's totally worth it. I think the regular save glitch strats are much better.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but I wanted to do it for like a conceptual purpose.
Oh, just to see.
It would never be faster in Portal to.
Well, it was in that one case in Segmented, but in a real run, like you wouldn't do it.
Segmented's different because you can keep reloading until you get it in like 10 ticks or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the Half-Life 2 currently being worked on tool-assisted speedrun does like.
I mean, that's the thing I love about the segmented runs, though, is a lot of the strats that we develop in segmented end up actually going into like the real like runs, like the what do you call it? I forgot the name now. The IRL
RTA.
runs.
RTA,
that's it.
Yeah. IRL runs.
Yeah. IRL, what's happening? It's the same thing with a lot of the out of bounds strats. Like we like went on top of the level and do like the elevator like instant load trigger skip, and that like originally started segmented and then got a little bit modified for like RTA as well. So same sort of thing happens with inbounds as well. But I don't think it's going to happen for prop clip anytime soon.
Oh no, yeah, I don't think Portal will
Yeah.
ever need these prop clipping, and I think everyone involved in the community should be praying it doesn't. That trick both saved and killed Half-Life 2 very quickly. Like for the first for probably the first 10 minutes it existed, people were probably hyped, and then they realized what it was, and they were like, "Oh, this ain't great." So, any closing thoughts?
Closing
I mean,
thoughts.
I enjoyed that a lot.
Practice E01.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you'll get that. Knock it out in a day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'll do it again. See if I can get PB again. I don't know. Who knows?
You can definitely get a 13, no doubt.
I was on PB pace for the first like half of each of the runs, most of the second one though, and then
EO1.
the escapes, man, they kill
Yeah,
you.
escapes is a hard. It's an easy section to choke on because everything in the escape section is really precise, especially Escape 0 and well, pretty much every map in Escape is super precise.
Yeah, they made a E00 save glitch that everyone's getting really annoyed over because it's harder, but it's easier. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen that at all, so I can't comment on it.
that trick is definitely questionable just because of how.
Well, I mean, that's the thing though. Like, whenever a new save glitch comes up, everyone says that it's questionable, and it takes a bit of a while for people to warm up to it. So
you don't understand how.
This...
I told you before. You literally see the no draw brush.
But that's the thing, like I've seen how this sort of stuff works in the community, and that's what you get every single time. It's like, no, you don't understand. This is really hard. That's what people were saying about the EO1 save glitch when it first came out, and we're doing that now. So I'm sure at some point people are going to start doing the save glitch on EO0. It's just a matter of time, you know.
Anyway, I think we have to wrap this up.
Yeah, we've fallen behind here.
So thank you. Sorry about the delays and everything. Thank you guys for watching the race and everything. Blaziken taking it 2-0 with 2 very solid runs.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll submit defeat. Good job, Blaziken.
Anyway,
thank you.
I am Alex Howe, and my commentating buddy is.
I'm an X here in Australia land.
And thank you guys.
You can find us online.
Thank you guys for watching the race.